Hey guys, welcome back to Stole by Paula. I know guys, I know it's been a hot minute since I've been on here, but it is so freaking good to be back. Those of you who have seen my most recent vlogs, you know that I have been hustling with residency applications, hence why I've been completely AWOL, but I finally have a moment's free and it's so good to be back here and able to just put out a new vlog. For those of you who are new to my site, welcome. This is As Told by Paula. I am a new doctor and I basically put out videos pertaining to medicine. And I also like to vlog some of my travels. I like to also put out some random musings. Okay guys, so what's my topic today? I'm going to be talking about why I can't do dating apps anymore. So for those of you who don't know, I recently turned 30. It's a big life change. And one of the things that I came to the conclusion is that as much as I want a life partner and I guess I should be upping my game and putting myself out there, I just don't think dating apps are the way to go for me personally. So I am giving them up altogether. And the reason why I came to this conclusion is because I tried to switch on the dating app here in my home country in Namibia and give it one shot, you know, because my friend was like, oh, come on, you know, switch it on in Namibia and give it a shot. So I did that and I wasn't feeling it. And it's been a hot minute since I've really kind of entertained the idea of dating. And now that I have time, I really do want to date, but I want to date intentionally. Okay, so reason number one, I am now in the big 3-0 and with that comes a lot of life experiences. What do I mean by that? I mean, I have quite a clear picture and understanding of what it is I look for in a partner. And in turn, this has made me a lot more picky, if you want to put it that way.
Why should I have to lower my standards to get a man? Who does that?
I'm sorry. Now what man?
I just want my equal, okay? Or at least an attractive, cultured man who's over 6 feet tall, makes 6 figures, and isn't intimidated by my success.
Okay, here we go. Let's do a little research here. This is you.
Please,
Strong, independent, and lonely women.
I've never been one to settle for things in life. I like to go after what I think is really, you know, pulling at my heartstrings. And if a partner doesn't feel right, it's very hard for me to settle. Much like many things in my life, I try to be as genuine and as authentic to myself as I can be. That being said, having too much of a clear understanding of what you want can be a bad thing with dating apps because it's so easy to get turned off by the wrong thing on a profile or to make pre-assumptions about people based on, like, you know, this small little paragraph about somebody and a picture. So that's the thing that I don't like about these dating apps, is that I feel like it's making romantic, you know, connections and dating a lot more superficial and surface level. I do filter out a lot of people based on my own preconceived notions, whether it be based on looks or whether it be based on something on biography. I might look at somebody's picture and think, oh, this guy looks kind of cocky, this guy looks like he gets a lot of girls, but he may actually be genuinely on this dating app for the right reason. So I just think that it's a lot to kind of try and filter through. And I do personally feel that in my lifetime, some of the people that I've had strong connections with are not really necessarily people that are the most attractive or that I would naturally consider my type. I don't have a type, but I do tend to go for a certain look of guys. And some of the strongest connections I've had with certain people, they don't fill that characteristic of what I normally go for. And it's been purely based on this idea of chemistry, connection, you know, conversation flowing. And so that's one of the things that I feel that dating apps, in a sense, kind of limits a person, in the sense that we might have an unconscious bias to go for what we typically, you know, go for, instead of, you know, trying something new. So, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm better in person than I am online. I've been on these dates and I've always had a follow-up date. It's never been a situation like the movie He's Just Not That Into You, where I've had to deal with, like, is he gonna call me back? Does he want a follow-up date? That hasn't happened. I mean, knock on wood. But I've had my own fair share of real life rejections. It's not to say I haven't had that. It's just to say with initial dating, I think I come off better than I do through a dating app. And it's one of those things where I think to myself, if I'm coming off well in real life, what if my person also comes off better in real life than they do on the application? And could I be missing a potential somebody because, you know, they don't shine through, or their personality isn't as evident through a basic profile? So yeah. The next reason why I cannot do dating apps anymore is because of this idea of chemistry. I say sometimes it's very unfortunate because you can spend a lot of time on these apps talking to somebody and think you guys have great conversation, you connect, you know, on paper they're great, and then finally you guys meet up and the chemistry is just not there. And this is real life based on my own experiences. Chemistry is not there, and then you're thinking, I've invested so much in this person and they're so great, conversation's good, you know, everything's right on paper, let me just try and make it work, and it's just not clicking. So that's one of the other things that I don't like about dating apps, is that sometimes you end up in this kind of long extended talking phase with somebody, and you end up connecting with them, like really, you know, bonding with them, but then that crucial ingredient, which is chemistry, is just not there. I am typically a slow burn. What do I mean by that? I mean, I'm somebody that likes to take my time in getting to know somebody, and I really want to be sure in the person I'm investing my time and emotions in, because when I do date, I take it very seriously. I don't want to waste my energy on a fling or something just for the sake of having appearance of having a boyfriend. It's one of those things for me where I am very much sure about that I want to be with somebody who checks off a lot of the things that I need. And so for me to come to a point where I feel like this is my person, it requires a lot of time in getting to know a person. And dating apps, sometimes they don't afford a person a lot of time to do that. And so you could be considered as a slow burn. And in that sense, things fizzle out a lot quicker when you are not ready to meet somebody at the drop of a hat and you want to kind of suss them out before you go onto a date, you know. So yeah. By the same token, when I was saying that you can end up talking to people on there for a good amount of time and forming a relationship, you can also go through a lot of like meet and greets. What do I mean by that? I mean starting conversations with somebody, getting partially excited about them, and then maybe you guys are not feeling each other, or they're not feeling you, and they ghost and they disappear, or the conversation fizzles out. So it does feel like it's this, I don't know, it's this game that you kind of have to actively play. And I think sometimes it's just a lot. It really is. You have to say the right things to keep them interested, and you know, you have to worry about them not swiping right while they're talking to you. And there's a lot of like, you know, these 5-day kind of connections you're building with people, and then tomorrow you have a new connection with somebody, and then the next day you have a new connection with somebody. It feels like you're filtering through people, and I just think for me, like, that's not really, it doesn't feel fulfilling whatsoever. The other thing that I find about it is that it tends to make me more pessimistic about finding romance, in the sense of I'm like, wow, I'm going through all these guys and I still haven't met the one. Like, maybe there's something wrong with me, maybe I'm too picky, maybe, you know, maybe the right one doesn't exist, you know. So that's one of the things I feel like, the rapidness, it's also creating this false sense of hopelessness. And so that's one of the main reasons really I was like, okay, I think it's time I get off of here, because it's doing more harm than good. The idea of FOMO can happen both to the other person and to yourself. What do I mean by that? I mean, you could be talking to somebody and having a decent conversation, and you never know, you might meet them in person and you guys might, you know, hit it off. You might have that thing, but the conversation is maybe a bit slow. Then you're swiping, you know, as you're talking to this guy, and a shiny new right swipe comes along, and the conversation is thrilling, it's exciting, you're having good talks for like 3 days straight, and then somehow it fizzles out. And it's just one of this thing of like, you're always thinking about what's behind door number 3, you know, even though you're dealing with door number 2. And the same way FOMO can happen to me, it can also happen with the person that I'm talking to. They could be talking to another 6-7 girls, and I just think that sometimes that also takes away from the process. I feel like dating apps are making me more shallow, in the sense of I'm already picky enough, so I don't need to be becoming a lot more like, but why is he doing this in the picture? Next, yeah, but I didn't like picture number 5. Deal breaker. Next. So, you know, I do feel that dating apps make me, the more I swipe, the more I become like a shallow person, if that makes sense. And I don't like it, because I don't consider myself shallow, and I'm not looking for the most handsome person or the most perfect person. I'm looking for my person. And I feel like the more I'm on a dating app, the more it takes me away from what I'm really supposed to be finding on there. I feel like dating apps now, you know, attract some of the worst men. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, I feel like now dating apps are the cesspool for hookups, and it's like you might as well call it hookup apps and not dating apps, in the sense that I feel like there's more men on there that are looking for hookups than dating. And it's unfortunate, because I'm not there for hookup. I'm looking to date someone, and so it gets to the point where it seems a bit tiring. I don't feel like I'm meeting the people who are on the same wavelength as me, and what's worse, I feel like I'm meeting very, 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 very like interesting characters, to put it nicely. So yeah, I just am pretty much done with dating apps. Those are my thoughts, guys, on dating apps. Let me know if you're on a dating app, what's your experience with it. Did you have luck? Some of my best friends have met the loves of their lives through dating apps, so I do believe it works. This is not to deter anybody. I just think it's not for me. So I'd love to hear your stories, good, bad. Let me know in the comment section if you agreed with what I said, or if you have a different take on some of the things that I have said. And yeah, sending you lots of love, guys. I will see you guys for the next vlog, which is actually going to be my 30th birthday weekend getaway vlog. So be sure to check that out. See you guys on here in 2 weeks time. Ciao.